the point discussing the dramatic events in Bihar which started this morning when outgoing Chief Minister Jatin Ram Manji chose to resign rather than face a vote of confidence on the floor of the Assembly. Let's now look to the future. First of all, let me begin with you, Saibal Gupta. Nitish Kumar, it said, is going to be sworn in on the 22nd. Shortly thereafter, he will face a floor test. Can I take it that it's reasonably certain, if not absolutely certain, that he will pass that floor test with ease?
No, I think there is no problem on that. There is a huge support for him in the JDU legislative party, plus Congress, RJD, and even CPI is supporting. So there is some sort of a broadest possible secular coalition which has emerged in Bihar.
Okay.
This combination will ensure that the vote of confidence sails through easily, without any problem.
The big question.
I wanted to point out one thing. I just wanted to point out.
Yes.
That in the press conference, Jitan Ram Manji did not mention about the resolution. In fact, he said that I want the assembly to continue for the next 8 to 9 months.
Except that I'll just simply add that every single television channel has been claiming that he asked for a dissolution. The channels could be wrong, but that is certainly what all of them are uniformly claiming. Anyway, let's move on. Let's not quarrel over that point. The question now, Kumar Ketkar, is after he gets sworn in, what will be in the best interest of Nitish Kumar to serve the remaining 7-8 months or whatever it is of this tenure, or to seek an early election? What do you think he'll do?
Well, actually, Nitish Kumar must try for building a stable secular alliance. And about Lohiites having ego is quite a common thing, whether it is Mulayam, Nitish or all others. So Nitish Kumar must dissolve his ego to a great extent. Lalu Prasad must dissolve his ego, and Congress also must learn from the defeats that they have been suffering and must create a secular coalition in Bihar, because Bihar is going to be the major test after Delhi. And I think Nitish Kumar knows the stakes involved. He will do that, and I think government will survive. Elections will be on time, and perhaps at that point of time, the secular coalition will give a major challenge to BJP. BJP, I insist, has fissures within, and Sushil Kumar Modi was completely upset at the developments because he was not even considered. He was not even consulted. So I think instead of talking about the fissures in BJP, let us not talk about the split in the JDU which has already taken place. There is no question of fissures now. The fissures will have to be in the secular coalition in future. That can create problem for them.
Pavan Verma, the prediction of most analysts is that over the next 6-7 months between Nitish's government being sworn in on the 22nd and the elections, Bihar will witness politics that is sharply polarized between Nitish Kumar on the one hand and Narendra Modi on the other. Do you welcome that sort of sharp politicization, that sharp polarization?
To the extent that this polarization is based on principles, where there is opposition to each other on the ground of what your worldview is, I welcome it. It's a democracy. There have to be different points of view. But if you are asking me in the next 6-7 months what will be the main priority of Mr. Nitish Kumar, let me repeat to you, Karan, without the slightest ambivalence, it's going to be an emphasis on good governance and good governance.
Which also suggests by corollary that he needs those 6-7 months left to prove that he can deliver good governance rather than go in for an early election.
Well, I think his track record shows that he has proven that he is capable of good governance. He just wants to pick up the story and take it forward from where it had broken for the last 6-7 months.
Now, something that I noticed...
Because somewhere in all of these politics, the state of Bihar is suffering.
Something that I noticed today, Varghese George, is that Nitish Kumar made a very public, a very fulsome, a fairly elaborate apology. He actually asked to be forgiven for stepping aside and bringing in another chief minister rather than continuing to govern. And the last time such a public apology was made was in fact Arvind Kejriwal apologizing to the people of Delhi for cutting and running after 49 days. And that apology certainly worked very well because it delivered a landslide for Arvind Kejriwal in Delhi. Do you think Nitish could be hoping to repeat some sort of history in Bihar with this apology, or is that expecting too much?
Yeah, I think Nitish Kumar did so far the biggest mistake in his political career by doing what he then thought was a very clever thing to do, which was appointing Jitendra Manji as a chief minister. And soon enough he realized that it was a very bad mistake, and that turned out to be very costly for Nitish Kumar. And all said and done, I do not agree with other panelists who said that the BJP has come out of it with all bruises and damaged. In fact, the BJP has actually gained quite a bit from the whole drama, because BJP did manage to create a wedge in the alliance, so the social coalition that Mr. Kumar Katkar was referring to, which Nitish Kumar, Lalu Yadav, Congress, the left parties were trying to build, which was a coalition of backwards, the Mahadalits, the Dalits, minorities, etc., etc. So therefore, Nitish Kumar will require some time to consolidate that social coalition firmly behind him, and that is not going to be an easy task. Like Arvind Kejriwal had to sweat a lot in Delhi to get all his voters back and proceed ahead. I think Nitish Kumar will really have to work hard in the next 5-6 months for his constituency to be back with him in the Bihar polls.
Sambit Patra, what sort of game, what sort of politics will the BJP play between now and the elections? You've got possibly 7 months, and perhaps you have to recover from the fact that you wanted to support a man who then chickened and ran away. So what sort of politics will the BJP play?
No, BJP will definitely make the people of Bihar aware of the facts, in the sense that they have been dumped by Nitish Kumar's government. And in fact, let me also remind you, what we will be doing on the ground is what Mr. Pawan Verma was right now stating, that Mr. Nitish Kumar is known for governance. No, Mr. Pawan Verma. Mr. Nitish Kumar resigned, saying that he was morally responsible for the defeat of the Lok Sabha election. And the defeat comes because of the fact that Nitish Kumar could not deliver what we had promised. So saying that Nitish Kumar is known for governance is absolutely wrong. And just a second, let me complete. And this is the reason as to why BJP will expose the Janata Dal United.
Okay.
That first and foremost, the JDU is no more united. Secondly, and very importantly, Nitish Kumar had resigned because of moral turpitude ongoing within his own mind that he had not performed. And thirdly, he has betrayed the mandate, in the sense that the mandate was for BJP and JDU combined. And Mr. Nitish Kumar himself had said that he would become the chief minister through a mandate.
These then are the messages you're going to bring out into the open during the next 6 months. Is that right?
No, these are the messages we'll take to the people. We'll make them aware of the fact that Nitish Kumar is not known for governance, but he is known only for word opposite to governance.
Absolutely. What about Manji himself, Nalini Singh? Has he emerged as some sort of Dalit icon, as you keep hearing commentators suggest he may have? Or is that an exaggeration? Does he have any pulling power? Does he have the capacity to create a party of his own, as some people are suggesting he may? Or do you see him getting absorbed into the BJP? Or is even that unlikely?
Karan, 25% of the constituencies in Bihar are reserved. So that means there are Mahadalit and Dalit constituencies. So whoever is today asking or running for that prize is actually somebody who's a very canny politician. And if Manji is doing it, even if it was unsuccessful, granted to him that he actually ran after the exact prize that could be within reach.
So does he have a future?
I would say it's not lost. If he, on the 28th, they are going to form another party, perhaps. But let me just say one thing. You know, in the BJP we're talking about, it was a local unit that the central unit had to bow to because of, this is the Delhi effect. Besides the apology effect, this is the local unit. And the other thing I'd like to say is the intricacies that you talk about, and I'm so glad you mentioned that. Pappu Yadav, just let me come back 20 seconds. Pappu Yadav, RJD MP, they are saying that he's saying do not vote for Nitish Kumar. In fact, you've also said something, because Lalu Yadav may have set him up. Pappu Yadav has a lot of scores to settle with Nitish Kumar. Lalu Yadav does, Shahabuddin. And the last thing I would say, any polarization, I think the chances of this Janata Parivar coming together are much higher now. And therefore, I would say that polarization is abominable for BJP, because they lose when there is only a two-party.
So the BJP, in other words, has a bit of an uphill struggle?
It has an uphill struggle, definitely.
For a moment, talking about the Mahadalit Kumar Ketkar, what impact will this whole episode have on Bihar's Dalits, the Mahadalit population, if you accept that the Paswans are now part of the Mahadalits? could be as much as 22, 23% of the state. What impact will this have on them and the way they vote and the way they view politics and the choice that they face between Nitish on the one hand and the BJP on the other?
Well, at the outset, let us recognize that we are again back to talking to caste equations. Earlier it was all development and Hindutva, and now suddenly we are back to caste in Bihar, which is the original politics of Bihar. Now, the 25% constituencies which are of Mahadalits does not automatically mean that they will go to Manjhi. JDU has their roots, Lalu Prasad has their roots, Congress also has their roots. Of course, they may be smaller than the Mahadalit constituency run by Manjhi. But the point is, the AAP, which is not going to lead the national coalition, Nitish Kumar has ability to run the national coalition of the secular parties or Janata Parivar, and therefore Congress supporting them, Nitish Kumar can emerge a national alternative for the secular coalition, and therefore that is what is likely to happen, and I think Congress will support him.
On that question, Pavan Verma of the Mahadalits, which was a constituency that Nitish Kumar nurtured and built around him, and it was a major element of your support base. Do you think Mr. Manjhi has fractured it, or at least raised question marks and doubts in their mind, and that maybe their loyalty now may be under question because of what happened to one of their own?
Let me concede, Karan, that Mr. Manjhi will probably continue to play up his Mahadalit profile. And let me also concede that the BJP will try and derive whatever mileage it can by his doing so. But let me tell you, the word Mahadalit was actually coined by Mr. Nitish Kumar. The Mahadalit Samaj is not anybody's personal property or kept constituency, nor is it a monolith.
Okay.
And in 8 or 9 years of Mr. Nitish Kumar's rule, if ever in Bihar there was institutionally a direction given to governance and administration to take the fruits of economic development to that Samaj, it was only during that period.
Okay.
So merely by chanting the mantra of Mahadalit, I don't believe that you should assume that an entire constituency now moves away.
Okay, that's a
We
very
have to
fair
see
point.
And judge.
That's a very fair point, although there are many, I should simply suggest, that think very differently and believe that in fact that constituency may not be as closely cemented to you and your party as they were previously. I don't have time for a very many number more of questions, but there is one I want to put to you very quickly before I end, Verghese George, and that is this. The election, when it happens, 6-7 months down the road, or if Mr. Nitish Kumar decides to hold it earlier, will be an extremely tough contest between two people who established themselves as bitter rivals. Narendra Modi on the one hand, Nitish Kumar on the other. It will be an election full of emotion, it will be an election full of political division, and also a sharp contest of ideologies at one level. Are we going to see a return to the bad politics of Bihar?
Well, I mean, to begin with, I would not describe the politics of Bihar bad by any standards. I think Bihar has a very robust, dynamic politics, which is been of empowerment, and in very many ways, I find it very positive politics.
But what I meant was, will we see virulent language, vitriol, and violence?
This is going to be the first.
Carry on.
Yes, to the extent that it will be the fundamental question will be Modi's attempt to overcome caste identities by an overarching Hindu identity, which played out with a lot of success in both UP and Bihar in 2014. The durability of that experiment is going to be tested in its essence and reality later this year when Bihar assembly polls happen. That is when how far is Mr. Modi's politics sustainable in Bihar and India as a whole, I think will be tested for the first time ever since Mr. Modi came to power in May 2014.
Kumar Ketkar, I'm going to give you the last chance to answer a question on the show before I end. This is becoming a struggle between Nitish Kumar and Narendra Modi whenever the elections in Bihar are held. How much of it is a critical battle for both of them? Or is it more important for Nitish because if he loses, he's lost everything, and less important for Mr. Modi, who will still have 4 more years as Prime Minister?
Well, Modi may or may not continue for full 4 years or may not continue for 10 years as he wants. But the point is, for Nitish Kumar, the stakes may be higher because Narendra Modi is already a prime minister. So for Narendra Modi, he has to manage his party and his lunatic fringe first before he manages others. The point is that who else at the national level is able to form a coalition and leadership? Certainly not Kejriwal, and therefore Nitish Kumar has much at stake and also much of ability. And I remember in 2009 election, Nitish Kumar was considered as a possible prime minister at that time in case Congress doesn't get a majority. I think that scenario is likely to be play out again.
All right, this is heading towards a critical election. Bihar elections are always important, they're always interesting, but this could be just more important than any of the previous ones. A contest between two men, one who is already Prime Minister, another who many believe has the makings or the possibility of being a contender sometime in the future. But that man has to first win the election in Bihar if he's going to catapult himself onto the national scene. If he doesn't, he could disappear altogether. My thanks to all my guests for joining me. And if you have, then thanks for watching.